No problem at all, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, to the Deputy Premier, when we speak in this House, who are we speaking for? Are we speaking for our constituents or are we speaking for political parties? As representatives of Albertans, do you believe that honest questions asked in this House deserve straight answers?
Honourable Minister.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, and to the member for the question. I have the absolute honour and privilege to be in this House every day fighting for all Albertans, Mr. Speaker. On this side of the House, we've done that by stopping a $1 billion cut to health care, by making sure that we invested in children when former governments wanted to push for deep cuts, and we will continue to do that, Mr. Speaker. And yes, I will happily answer reasonable questions with reasonable answers, and I will not back down from my responsibilities to fight for ordinary families, Mr. Speaker.
First supplemental.
I asked yesterday how close we were to full implementation of the valuing mental health recommendations. I asked that question because people in Alberta are suffering. Whoever is responsible, it's clear that we don't have the necessary supports for people suffering from mental health. To the same minister, how many of the recommendations have been implemented and what still needs to be done?
Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Currently, we're monitoring over 150 initiatives led by the government, Alberta Health Services and community organizations to move forward with the 18 actions that were identified in valuing mental health next steps, Mr. Speaker. I'm very proud of the fact that we not only did a review, but then we developed an action plan, something that many members of the community said hadn't happened before. They were a little bit nervous that they might be part of a report that would sit on a shelf, but this side of the House has put our money where our mouth is. We've moved forward on action plans, Mr. Speaker, and we're funding it while members of the opposition continue to vote in opposition of those.
Second supplemental.
Minister, we know there are thousands of Albertans dealing with mental health issues. Their voices count, and they should be our top priority. To the same minister, can you articulate a vision to give Alberta families hope that mental health will be top of mind and a nonpartisan priority?
The Honourable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, as was evident from the Premier's one of her first 2 or 3 news conferences, we absolutely wanted to reach across the aisle and work with members of multiple parties to address this significant area of need. That's why we invited the member for Calgary Mountain View, along with the now Minister for Children's Services, to lead a review on mental health. And then when we added the Associate Minister, she helped lead the initiatives around implementation, Mr. Speaker. We certainly welcome all members of the House to bring forward ideas and recommendations, because we are certainly focused on making sure that we invest in supporting and promoting and protecting the health of all Albertans, Mr. Speaker.